Hello you guys, so today is a tutorial. Yay! Give me a thumbs up on that one. So we're doing a cool tutorial today where you don't need any soldering material. You don't need a torch. All you need is some good silver, about 18 gauge. You could work with like 16 gauge, but I really recommend 18 gauge wire. And you're gonna make this ring right here, of course not these, and I didn't make these by the way, but it's gonna be so fun. So here's some tools that you're gonna need. And by the way, once you get the hang of this, you can totally make it your own and make it like even different. Hell, you can make it better than mine, man. So I'm working with some 18 gauge silver wire. I have a ring mandrel. You can use a plastic one, they're only a few bucks. Metal ones cost you about 20. I really recommend the metal though, because you're working with metal and you need to hammer it, so that plastic one just doesn't hold up and do what you need it to do when you're hammering. If you don't have a wire straightener, which I do but I can't find, you can get one of these. It's a ring holder. They're good for so many things. They hold your ring in place while you're like polishing the stuff or whatnot. And I also use it to straighten the wire. And this one has some leather right there and there on each side, which really helps it not mar the metal. Okay, and then you need a hammer. I have a shitty hammer. I mean, I have a bad hammer right here. I need my other one that's bigger. But anyways, the hammer is supposed to be flat right here and smooth. If you have any like cuts in it, don't use it, because you're going to put that into your metal unless that's the style you're going for. Now, I have this tool right here. I got it from, where did I get it from? It's called Euro. That is like one of, I swear I have two tools that are my most required tools, and one of which I'm missing right now and I'm gonna go get. But this one, I don't even know what it is, but it flattens the stuff and it's amazing. Let's see. There you go. You can see it well. Now you can see this tool a little bit better. It's great because it gets in that tight space and it makes that wire flat when you're like doing a lot of wire wrapping and stuff. I can't live without this tool. Then there's some cutters that you're gonna need. Now you can have these cutters which cut the wire at an angle, which sometimes is good and sometimes is not, but it also helps you really get in there when you have tight spaces. The wire cutters that I recommend for this ring though would be these ones, because it won't leave you with a pointy edge of wire. It will leave you with a smooth, pretty much smooth end of the wire, which is what you want if you're making rings for people that could hurt them. And one more tool, and that is this one. So this one and this one are my most used tool for my jewelry, just FYI, in case you wanted to know. Now you might be thinking, holy smokes, that's a lot of tools. That's gonna cost a lot of money. I don't have those tools. But I'm telling you, this is the cheap way to go. Because I'm not using a $25, $30 wire straightener. I'm using a ring holder, which is only a few bucks. And the other ones, sorry, but if you want to make money, yeah, you're gonna have to invest. So this I would say it would be about, I got this for free, but you can get a good hammer for like $10 at Michael's, and this was 20, so that's 30. This was, you could say 10, I'm probably overdoing it, but that's 40. This was 15. This was about 15, let's say. That's 30, and I'm upping the price more than it probably is. 5, 6, 7. $70. This was at in LA. It was only a couple dollars. I won't even include that. This ring holder is a couple dollars, which I got for really, really cheap. And that's how much they are though. I just happened to get a good deal at a thrift store, in a yard sale. Anyhow, I'm gonna show you how to make that ring now. So here's the wire. we're gonna start. I'm gonna give you guys some close-up views, and I'm gonna give you some far-away views. I don't think I'm gonna do a lot of editing, because heck, I think I'm pretty funny anyways, right? Like this cord getting in the way, that's not funny though. Who wants to see the camera cord, right? Okay. So you're gonna get it, and you want it to be, you want to start about, damn, 2 sizes smaller, I think it is. I can't remember, up or down, because I haven't done it in a while. But 2 sizes smaller, because your ring might like, you know what, you're gonna have to work with the size because it will change, but this is a new style and it didn't work the same way for me. So anyways, start with a size and play with a little bit. Don't start off with silver wire. I recommend getting some 18 gauge copper wire or artistic wire until you get this right, until you start working with silver. So I wrapped it around there. I'm hoping to make this one small for my daughter. You see, I'll show you an up close right now. So I wrapped it around, and now I'm going to wrap it like this. Oops, it keeps on moving. See, it's trying to get bigger now. When you do this part, you really got to hold it tight because it will try to escape you. And make it bigger or smaller. So I'm trying to make it a size 4. So I'm trying to hold it tight there when I make that wrap. That wrap is the trickiest one, but it already got bigger. So start off at a smaller size. Okay, now I have it about like that. All I did was like that. You saw it. Okay, now I'm going to show you a closer view. I'm going to cut some of this extra wire off. I know that I'm not going to need. I'm not going to use all this either, but alright, so I did that. That was very simple, you get it. Now that looks pretty cool, but that's not the look we're going for. I'm sure you could work out something here and start like making like spirals and stuff. But also another reason to use this thick wire and not the thin wire is because it will hold its shape much better. And when you hammer it on a metal mandrel, it will also help it solidify the metal. It does, I don't remember. There's a word for it, but you're hardening the metal. Alright. Now what I'm going to do is get my hammer and start flattening it because I want it to keep that shape and it likes to change. Alright, so now you see it looks like this. It's just to keep it in shape. And actually what I'm going to do with this one now is, it's not going to be exactly like mine was, but you know, I think that's great. Now I'm going to take it off that mandrel so I can work with it. So this is what it's looking like. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to start spiraling this in. But I want them to be 2 sizes about the same. So I'm going to get my nice cutters, trim a little bit off there. I don't want it to be too big of a spiral. And I want to trim a little bit off here. They don't have to be exactly the same size. That's the uniqueness of it being handmade. So now I'm going to spiral it. This one's going to look a little different than the one that you see on my finger, but you know, that's the beauty of handmade things. One thing about this first spiral is you don't want, like, you want to tuck that in like this. You want to tuck it in, and if you can't, then you can use this tool. It will really help. I'll show you. And I like to kind of flatten it down too sometimes. I think it just gives it a cooler look. which I overdid it, and we'll use the tool to fix. Alright, so that's what it looks like now. I kind of messed it up, but you can always do some sanding later with some sandpaper if you want a smooth look, or you can leave it kind of rough like that, which I don't recommend. And sandpaper is so cheap, I just didn't mention it at the beginning. My hands are so dirty, right? I've been doing work all day long. So stick your tool, your round nose plier that you use to make that loop, back up in there. Sometimes it gets tight when you do what I just did, so I have to make sure that I can get my piece in there. And then you grab it and you hold it. Oops, let me show you a little bit better. And you just start spiraling it. And don't worry, your spirals are going to be totally messed up. But you know what? Maybe you'll make some good spirals. But if you're new at it, spiraling is not as easy as it looks. But I think that's the beauty of handmade, right? None of them are going to be exactly the same. And I'm not even worried about how my spiral looks right now. I'm just trying to make a cool ring. See how I did that? And now, you know, yours is going to look different. Maybe it'll look a lot like mine, maybe it won't. But it's just being able to use this wire to make a ring that looks unique without, you know, without having to do any soldering. And I think the investment for this is a pretty good investment, especially when you start making silver rings. People will buy silver rings that are unique like this. People love that stuff. I forgot to do the, you see, that's what I'm talking about. Remember how I made this tight with this tool, and this one I didn't. So that opening is bigger, which I don't prefer. So I'm going to tighten that in so I can make more of a spiral. If it's not too late. I'm working with some thick metal here, so it's not always easy to change it. Unless you want to enamel it first, but you have to go through the process of, if you want to make this metal soft to work with, you can do that. All you have to do is heat it up with a torch, but it's going to get black stuff, which is called fire scale. I have a video on how to naturally remove fire scale. It is very simple, so you could totally do that to make your job easier. And I'll put a link to that video right here, right now. Do you see this video? Click on that. Then it'll make this to work with like butter. So I just twisted it together. And right now, yes, it has marks. It doesn't look the best. And this one looks pretty shiny, right? All you have to do is get some about 300 grit sandpaper, rub it on the sandpaper really good until the marks are gone, and then you get some kind of polish. It's mother polish or something like that. Google it. Rub it on a polishing pad, and there you go. You could take it to a jeweler and they'll shine it up for you too. And there you go. That's my ring. And that's how you make it without having to solder it. But if you wanted to size it, there's one thing I didn't tell you. This is a really great thing. You can actually still work on the sizing. All that you have to do is put it on the ring mandrel, if you have a metal one. First of all, you also want to tap it down so it's flat. And it strengthens it too, so it doesn't bend out of shape. And you can also hammer the sides, so it kind of flattens it down. You turn it over, and you flatten it. There's one more thing that I don't mention in this video, because I'm really trying to make this as simple as possible. This turned out to be about a size 6 1/4 ring. But something I didn't mention is that you can true it. If you have a steel block or a steel surface on the edge of that surface, put it there, and then you're gonna hammer it down, lightly hammer the edges, and that will make it an even band. But this way it did it really good too. It might be a little like that, but you know what, that's art for you. So here is the finished product. I hope you guys liked watching my video. Please comment, rate, and subscribe. I will have more tutorials coming up, and this will be shiny too. Just like this one. It's gonna look shiny and awesome. See? Imagine that. Look at my mystic topaz. Isn't that pretty? I love it. I thank my mom for that. Alright, you guys. I hope you have a great day. Comment, rate, and subscribe if you haven't already. Bye!